Donald Trump freed a man from Russian prison, a teacher who was there because he brought medical marijuana with him. And when you see this guy today, I'm telling you, looks like a pothead, acts like a pothead, most likely is a pothead. But we love him anyway, as Trump would say. And yeah, Fogel. This is I saw this story last night. It captivated my attention on, I believe, Instagram, and I just sat there. No, it was actually Rumble, and I just sat there and I watched it for like a good 15 minutes. It was a fascinating press conference with Donald Trump. This was a crazy development that just kind of happened overnight. The guy's reaction is amazing. It's just a holistic American moment. The man is wearing the American flag around his neck as he arrives at the White House to meet Donald Trump, call Donald Trump a hero. Donald Trump then says, "It's off view to the public. Not very many people get to see it. But you want to see the Lincoln bedroom? You want to see the Lincoln bedroom?" Donald Trump is obsessed with the Lincoln bedroom. I don't even know if this guy wanted to see the Lincoln bedroom. This guy was just like, I will follow Donald Trump around wherever I go, saying hello to Mike Johnson on the way out. Donald Trump was preoccupied with touring the Lincoln bedroom to this guy. But what a moment. What an American moment. And what's even more messed up about it is that the only thing anybody's talking about today is how Elon Musk's kid was like kicking his leg or like making fun of him while he talked or something. Like, is it annoying when the parent brings the child to work when you don't have a child? Yes. Did Elon Musk do it flawlessly while explaining what DOGE is going to do for America? Yeah. So I think that guy gets to keep his kid wherever the hell he wants to keep his kid, all right? Also, that kid is cute as fuck, but it's not as cool as the Russian guy. Like, I mean, dude, this is like 80s movie setup. Like, lands on a plane. Like, he's crying. He gets to see the Lincoln bedroom. I'm Alex R. Wagner. It is February 12th, 2025, and this is No News Is. You get to see the Lincoln bedroom.
Guys, I guess just don't follow the sky, you know?
So, at a high level, if you say, what is the goal of DOGE, and I think a significant part of the presidency is to restore democracy. This may seem like, well, aren't we in a democracy? Well, if you don't have a feedback loop, okay, we would have to, if you sorry. So, tell you, gravitas can be difficult sometimes. If there's not a good feedback loop from the people to the government, and if you have rule of the bureaucrat, if the bureaucracy is in charge, and then what meaning does democracy actually have? If the people cannot vote and have their will be decided by their elected representatives in the form of the president and the Senate and the House, then we don't live in a democracy, we live in a bureaucracy. So it's incredibly important that we close that feedback loop, we fix that feedback loop, and that the public's elected representatives, the president, the House, and the Senate, decide what happens, as opposed to a large unelected bureaucracy. This is not to say that there are good people who are in the federal bureaucracy, but you can't have an autonomous federal bureaucracy. You have to have one that is responsive to the people. That's the whole point of a democracy. And if you looked at if you looked at the founders today and said, what do you think of the way things have turned out? Well, we have this unelected, fourth unconstitutional branch of government, which is the bureaucracy, which has, in a lot of ways, currently more power than any elected representative. And this is not something that people want, and it's not it does not match the will of the people. So it's just something we've got to fix. Quiet.
Your detractors, Mr. Musk.
I have to what?
Including a lot of Democrats.
I have detractors?
You do, sir.
I don't believe it.
Say that you're orchestrating a hostile takeover of government and doing it in a non-transparent way. What's your response to that criticism?
Well, first of all, you couldn't ask for a stronger mandate from the public. The public voted. We have a majority of the public voting for President Trump. We won the House. We won the Senate. The people voted for major government reform. There should be no doubt about that. That was on the campaign. The president spoke about that at every rally. The people voted for major government reform, and that's what people are going to get. They're going to get what they voted for. And a lot of times, people that don't get what they voted for, but in this presidency, they are going to get what they voted for. And that's what democracy is all about.
Our first investigation will be announced, but it's going to be covering on a thorough investigation into the John F. Kennedy assassination. And I can tell you, based on what I've been seeing so far, the initial hearing that was actually held here in Congress was actually faulty in the single bullet theory. I believe that there were 2 shooters, and we should be finding more information as we are able to gain access into the SCIF, hopefully before the files are actually released to the public.
You're doing this every day. You're in D.C.
Yes.
The pace of the Trump administration seems to be moving pretty quickly. How are you holding up?
It is insane. And I think everyone is kind of like readjusting and re-remembering what it was like 4 years ago, 4 years ago. I remember when Biden first took office in January, the New York Times wrote the story about how quiet the weekends were, because for reporters, every weekend had just been like it was like a 7-day work week. And now we're back to that, basically, where it's just essentially nonstop every day. You kind of wake up like not knowing what you're going to be doing, what the schedule is. I was walking to get breakfast one day this week. I was like, okay, I'm going to have a nice little breakfast before I go to work. And halfway there, they're like, Trump's doing a press conference in an hour. And I physically ran back home so I could change and get ready.
I feel like that's how we all live now, is we would not be surprised to see someone we know from CNN running.
Now, one thing also that Elon hasn't really mentioned are the groups of people that are getting some of these payments. They're ridiculous. And we're talking about billions of dollars that we've already found. We found fraud and abuse. I would say those 2 words as opposed to the third word that I usually use, but in this case, fraud and abuse. It's abusive because most of these things are virtually made up, or certainly money shouldn't be sent to them. And you know what I'm talking about. It's crazy. So, but we're talking about tens of billions of dollars that we've already found. And now a judge who's an activist judge wants to try and stop us from doing this. Why? Why would they want to do that? I campaigned on this. I campaigned on the fact that I said government is corrupt. And it is very corrupt. It's very, very, it's also foolish. As an example, a man has a contract for 3 months and the contract ends, but they keep paying him for the next 20 years, because nobody ends a contract. You got a lot of that. You have a contract that's a 3-month contract. Now, normally, if you're in a small, in all fairness, it's the size of this thing is so big.
Yeah.
But if you have a contract and you're in a regular business, you end the contract in 3 months, it's a consultant. Here's a contract for 3 months, but it goes on for 20 years. And the guy doesn't say that he got money for 20 years, They don't say it. They just keep getting checks month after month. And you have various things like that, and even much worse than that, actually, much worse. And I guess you call that incompetence, maybe.
Yeah.
It could be corruption. It could be deals made on both sides, where the guy gets the money, he kicks. I think there's a lot of kickback here. I see a lot of kickback here.
There's a lot of kickbacks.
Tremendous kickback, because nobody could be so stupid to give out some of these contracts. So he has to get a kickback. So that's what I got elected for, that and borders and military and a lot of things, but this is a big part of it. And I hope that the court system is going to allow us to do what we have to do. We got elected to among other things, find all of this fraud, abuse, all of this horrible stuff going on. And we've already found billions of dollars, not like a little bit, billions, many billions of dollars. And when you get down to it, it's going to be probably close to $1 trillion. It could be close to $1 trillion that we're going to find. that will have quite an impact on the budget. And you'll go to a judge where they handpick a judge, and he has certain leanings. I'm not knocking anybody for that, but he has certain leanings, and he wants us to stop looking. How do you stop looking? I mean, we've already found it. We have a case in New York where a hotel has paid $59 million, $59 million because it's housing migrants, illegal migrants, all illegal, I believe.
And they were being paid. So, there's crazy things like just cursory examination of Social Security, and we've got people in there that are 150 years old. Now, do you know anyone who's 150? I don't. Okay. They should be on the Guinness Book of World Records. They're missing out. That's a case where, I think they're probably dead. It's my guess. Or they should be very famous, one of the two.
It's all out there. It's not transparency to say things that have no factual background. I mean, to say we're cutting, we've found $1 billion or $1 trillion in waste with no specifics, that's just talk. That's not transparency.
It's 23 days in here, guys. 23 days. You're talking about 2.3 billion that was saved last year. These guys are saving 2.3 billion a day.
Right, but
it's incredible.
That's what they're saying. But where's the proof?
You're waiting. You're not going to be satisfied till he shows up with 10,000 pages.
But we're talking about 10,000 pages. Yeah. He's giving very specific things,
yes,
but he's not actually giving any evidence of that.
It's all going to come, because what they also said was, if we have to go to Congress, we'll go to Congress.
Right, but
we'll show where it is.
Some of the details that have come out, like the $59 million spent on luxury hotels, it's actually not.
You're talking about the FEMA money that was used for migrants.
Yeah.
FEMA money for migrants, that's okay now?
No, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay. Don't put words in my mouth.
So would you stop that? Would you stop that process?
Don't be a dick. What I'm saying is the portrayal.
I am not a hero in this at all. And President Trump is a hero. These men that came from the diplomatic service are heroes. The senators and representatives that passed legislation in my honor to get me home are the heroes. I am in awe of what they all did. My family has been a force. I think my 95-year-old mother is probably the most dynamic 95-year-old on earth right now. And I am so indebted to so many people. I think I remember a Churchill quote that he said when the RAF was fighting the Luftwaffe, and he said that never have so many owed so much to so few. And I put myself, fortunately and unfortunately, into that category, and I said, never has one owed so much to so many, that this superorganism of people that came to my support and the love that I was given sustained me for 3.5 years in a prison that had me in hospitals for more than 100 days. I was given more than 400 injections in that time. And knowing I had the support of my fellow Pennsylvanians, my family, my friends, it was so overwhelming that it brought me to my knees and it brought me to tears, but it was my energy, it was my being that kept me going that whole time, and I will forever be indebted to President Trump, to Steve over there. What a dynamic man this guy is.
That's true.
Number one, the reason we're here with this hostage situation this weekend is because Hamas decided to stop participating in the deal that was brokered as Donald Trump was coming into office.
Actually, the Israeli newspapers today says that Israel violated the ceasefire.
I know what your position is. I know what your position is.
No, it's not my position. It's the Israeli newspaper and the New York Times and Israeli politicians.
But our ally is Israel, and you can't trust Hamas.
But our allies violated the ceasefire.
And who started it in the beginning? Who started it in the first place?
Israel violated the ceasefire, killed 100 Palestinians.
Let's finish, and then you can go.
We're here because Hamas kidnapped, raped, and murdered, and now they're violating this deal, which wasn't even a great deal to begin with. It did get a few people back, which I'm sure is the best of what we're going to see. And so what Donald Trump is trying to do right now is get this thing moving again, because these people need to come back. That's number one. Number two, I think he just wants the other states in the Middle East to do something.
They already
and to
offered
take
him to do
ownership of some people here, to take take responsibility for their own region, and I hope they do.
Well, can I say something? I'm also sorry. There's the only one that actually put the proposition on the table 4 times, and this is where it's honestly, you don't know what you're talking about, and I'm sorry to say,
no, I think
President
I do.
Trump
And
doesn't know what
I'm
he's
sorry
talking.
that you and I disagree, but I have a position, and it's valid.
There is an Arab peace initiative that is already on the table.